He's written law. I'd like to call this February 9th meeting to order at 6:30. This is a work session. I will dispense with the pledge and the invocation and turn it over to Elise for roll call.
Commissioner McMullen. Commissioner McMullen.
Present.
Commissioner Pollan.
Here.
Commissioner Ramos.
Present.
Mayor Stark.
Here,
Vice Mayor Satterfield.
are we not expecting him?
We are. I just saw him a little while ago.
Okay. And Commissioner McMullen is joining us remotely due to extenuating circumstances.
Oh, here we are.
And there's, yes, Satterfield, so now we have a full quorum.
I must have started something. Go ahead, being late.
Well, I figured if you could be late, I could do one, so. Hello, everybody. I'm
Hello.
sorry.
That's all right. So we have new business pedestrian crossing concept plan.
All right, so Mike is gonna give the presentation. I'll just frame this real quick. We've got there's actually two different things going on here that we wanted to bring up. Just looking for some direction from the commission. One of them's pedestrian safety enhancements, and then along with that kind of ties into this also is extending the trail that goes through Longleaf with the Sadler Avenue Trail, which was budgeted for this year. We want to talk about that concept plan. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike, and then we can have a little discussion after we go through the slides.
Okay, so the Longleaf pedestrian safety issue here is, at the time that Longleaf came in, Orange County owned the road and they compelled them to construct the minimum crossing. It's taken a while, obviously, and now the town owns the road and we've come back and, I believe this crossing warrants a little more attention than what the county was requiring. The town is creating a network of sidewalks and trails that are an offshoot of the West Orange Trail, and the Amen Pavilion and the Oakland Avenue crossing is a primary connection point. Just so you have, an idea of where this is at the entrance, Sandsboro Road and Oakland Avenue, and you'll see you have the handout there. You can see where that's at. We're creating this to go all the way through to State Road 50. So there's actually three crossings, if you will. The Oakland Avenue one is the most intense and heavily traveled. Pedestrian use is expected to increase as the town continues to grow. Traffic on the roads is also expected to increase during this time. If approved, the improvements would be constructed concurrently with the remaining pieces of the trail crossing that Pulte is going to construct. So, at this point, the improvements are planned to be solar operated, and right now it has an estimated cost of $50,000 for these improvements. On the second page, we have a diagram that shows the neighborhood and the crossings. Like I said, crossing at Sandsboro Road, crossing at Bobcat Chase Drive, and crossing at Sandsboro. Now, these lighted standards will only be on the Oakland Avenue side, and then we're proposing that it just be crosswalk signage, stop for state law, that kind of thing at the Bobcat and Sandsboro. We believe that will be sufficient. On the next page, you'll see the Valencia Community College, the West Campus. We went out there and looked at this, Steve and I did, and felt that this was a pretty good indication of what we wanted to do. You'll note that you may not be able to see it on the screen, but on your handout, you'll see that first left-hand photo has the beacon, that beacon. That will be the first thing that people see when they are approaching a crosswalk. And then when you get up to the crosswalk, you'll have the other, which would be the top center photo. That's kind of what you'll see at the crossing. So, and that is, it's got a light as well, but it's more of like a strobe, or not a, it's a little different. It's not a beacon, it's a strobe. So they've got motorists have 2 points of warning that they're coming up on a pedestrian crossing. And pedestrians have the right of way.
That light is both east and west?
Yes.
Coming?
Yeah.
So it's two of them, with a light.
Yeah, so I think by the plans, they're 250 feet before you get to the crosswalk in either direction. So as you're coming from, the west or coming from the east, 250 feet, you'll have the beacon. And then when you get up to the crosswalk, if there's somebody there, they will press the button, the little strobe will go, and the cars will have to stop.
Yeah, if you note out at the site right now, there is signage there at that 250-foot mark. So,
If you go and look anywhere from Daytona down to Sebastian Inlet, they have these all over now
yeah.
on A1A. They put them, actually, they're not even at intersections. They have put them in between intersections. So even people that walk across, they have to go and then down A1A a little bit on the walk and then across for I guess to stay out of the way of the people that are in the traffic pattern too, that come out of the street. So that's very common there that they're moving all the intersections. So that might be an interesting thing to think about.
Well, staff, is looking very strongly at this. I think the traffic, and I personally have had to stop and let people finish getting across the road up there, and that's, driving at 35 miles an hour. So.
Go to the next one.
Yeah, the next sheet is the Seminole Wekiva Trail, and it's kind of more of in line with what we have. It's a 40 mile per hour with a trail crossing, which we have the 35 in a trail crossing. And it just, there's one at Markham Road, and then there's another at Longwood Markham. And the Seminole Trail has quite a few of these as well. So it just kind of gives you an idea of what the look is going to be and the functionality of it.
We're going to have lights.
Yeah, you'll have the beacon on the 250-foot out, and then you'll have the strobe on the one right at the crossing.
We definitely need the lights.
So anyway, as Steve said, we're looking to generate discussion, possibly consensus. Should it be installed? What are the HOAs going to think about it? Is it going to protect pedestrians? And again, as we grow and traffic increases, pedestrian safety is going to become more of an issue. And I personally foresee more of these crossings on Oakland Avenue in the future in different areas. So it may be out in the industrial area. So anyway, it's a lot to think about, and we'd like to get some feedback.
Okay, guys, what do you think?
Well, from driving with them half the time, being over there, they definitely work. And those strobe lights, you can see them a long way. So even if you're not at the one getting ready to stop, there's something ahead. The only thing that I see that I watch that people are doing, as the strobe light goes on and you stop, what people are doing is as soon as they get past their half that they're going on, and the people that are walking are on the traffic going the other way, they don't wait for them to go away across, they go. And I'm not so sure there's a way you can control that, but God forbid what happens when someone says, oh, I dropped this, and they back up and people are gone. That's the only thing I see that's wrong with those things. I don't have an answer for it, but I've seen that happen. So they have to be, my point is, I guess, for a while really controlled so that even if they pass the front of your car, they're still against the law. If they start to move while them beacons are still, or not beacons, while them strobes are still going, because technically they're supposed to stop so they get all the way across the street.
Yep.
That's the only thing I see that's done wrong over that way.
I think that this is great, and it's an extra layer of safety for our pedestrians. I'm worried more so, God bless you, on that curve, because there's a blind side on that curve when they're coming, 35, 40, that I don't know how far the distance is, or if we can start, another one further back when they start the curve, because when you start that curve and you come around, this kind of, a lot of people kind of surprise them.
So I was reading through the plans, and so they've got a little box there that talks about the speed limit versus how far back you should have that beacon. And so they're going by, it looks like DOT standards that you go back 250 feet. Now, we do have those other signs that are already there, and we could take one of those if Mike's, and put it on the curve. And then at 250 feet, you'll get the strobe. And then, when you get to the intersection, if there's someone there though, or you'll get the beacon, and then you'll get the strobe at the intersection.
I would suggest that. I like that. On these, Markham Road, these are pretty straight shots. I mean, you have at least 500 yards by the time you even, turn. Ours is such a sharp turn coming both directions, more so coming from the bridge, that I think that they need as much time as they can to start knowing. I'm not talking about our local citizens, but people from Lake County or someone just driving by may not see that. It might be surprising them.
Yeah, from that curve to the proposed flashing, the first beacon they would see is about 100, maybe 150 feet. So it would make sense to put it there. We have some not curve signs, but the signs that show you there's a
Correct.
curve. We could put it alongside those and definitely could do that. So,
I ride the Seminole Wekiva a lot. I go through these two intersections quite often, and people stop. I mean, and these are 40-mile-an-hour roads. And when they see those beacons, they come to a stop and let the pedestrians go across. I mean, but they've been doing it for, the locals there know it's there, and so they expect it. And it does work. So a couple of the key things that I'm looking for would be, how much do you want us to go out into the community and get input? I've talked to a few people in the neighborhood that are excited about doing something that's safer for that crossing. And then if we do want to do this, my suggestion would be for the staff to bring back a resolution that would enable these signs, all of them, all sets of these signs, so that they're enforceable for the police department. Chief Pete, making sure we got that correct. And then a budget amendment to use impact fees to put these signs up.
I don't think we have a choice. We need to put those signs up because we need to keep people safe. That's a curve. And until then, those VMS signs.
They're costing us a fortune.
I know, they're very expensive,
yeah.
but I really want to make sure that we've done everything we can to keep people safe. And I don't think not having some kind of flashing lighted warning is enough.
So I can bring this back at the next meeting with a resolution and a budget amendment to put these for approval, and then we can get them ordered. I don't know what the lead time is to get the equipment in, but we can go ahead and get this moving if that's the commission
Yeah.
like.
As fast as we can get it done, that's better off for us to get rid of those VMS signs.
Yeah, even though I said it would run concurrently with the Pulte improvement, there's no reason we couldn't put it up quicker.
Yeah.
The expectation is the Pulte should be done sometime in March, but they're still waiting. They are in charge of that project, and they're still waiting for state approval to make that last connection. They are in the queue and in the process, but we're waiting on them to complete that.
Okay.
I like the strobe lights to really get your attention. I'm pretty familiar with ones at Montford Academy. I think they may have even more than what's in this picture, but when those lights are flashing, they get your attention.
I think theirs are even motion activated for all those kids crossing that they don't even have to press anything. As soon as you walk up, it starts flashing.
They have them out at Disney and they have them all over California where there's no light. It's just a crossing.
It's a big change for within the town here. And it does help as far as that whole talking about speed on the road. It'll help to bring some of that down. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah, when it serves as a four-way stop when somebody stops there. I mean, they come to a stop.
Mhm.
I like to.
So I'd love it if they do that at the four-way stop.
Yeah.
But see, that's the yellow beacon. I don't think always gets your attention like the strobe lights do. When you see that just let you know there's a crosswalk. But when you see those flashing white lights,
Mhm.
you know there's
Yeah.
pedestrian.
There's somebody there.
Well, and as a pedestrian, you still have to look both ways. You still have to pay attention to the traffic, but it certainly makes the crossing much, much safer.
Yep.
I'd like to add that once we install these, if we can have presence of a police officer at the beginning that we do this, have a police car station, nearby the crossing. Because what you said, Vice Mayor, about, certain people will just wait for them to get to the other side and hit the gas. I would like to have police presence at the beginning to get people used to familiarize.
If we're worried about the curve, and I'd have to look at it, and you guys might know the answer, is there a way to move it like I was saying they do over to the coast, that it's not necessarily at the intersection, move it away from the curve, where people will have to walk down the sidewalk a little bit to go across the street? It does work over there. But if the curve is going to be a problem, we could roll it.
Well, where this comes in, there's no sidewalk on Oakland Avenue you're talking about shifting the crosswalk?
Yeah,
There's no sidewalk to shift them to because the sidewalk's more of an internal.
okay.
And
So
so
we can't.
there's nothing on Oakland Avenue. That's where it comes out, is next to the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
Should've been-
not really that opportunity to move it.
Because like I say, moving it away from that curve would solve that problem, but
Well, if you move it the other way, you're moving it right into another
Yeah.
wide sweep.
that's what I said, I'd have to go,
Yeah.
and you might know that answer.
Yes.
Mike, are you concerned they won't see the beacon before they get around the curve?
I'm concerned, yeah, that sometimes they'll see the beacon, but it doesn't slow you down until you see, right, those flashing lights. They slow everybody down. I've seen it, but if you can't see it coming, if it's around the curve, then you get that kind of screeching to a halt when it comes up on you.
Well, that's one of those things where, if it were an opportunity, which it does not sound like
Yeah,
it
doesn't
was,
Sound like it, so,
we should have taken that opportunity when we had it.
yeah.
Well, the other thing that the commission has done, we've got this mobility master plan, and while it might not be short-term, the long-term view of Oakland Avenue is to make improvements at that intersection of Machete. And when we do that, that's going to slow people coming down through that curve. So that's a little bit longer-term view, but the commission has approved, at least in concept, making some improvements that will help with that curve situation coming from east to west. So, but I think by doing the flasher, I think we're making a huge step forward. And if we add that additional sign, another 100 feet up or so,
Yeah.
we will have done, everything that we can do to warn people.
I just had to ask.
If you think about the school down there, you've operated flashers down there for more than a decade. And even though it's a little slower speed limit, it's only part of the time of the day, it's made a difference down there. And that's solar powered, by the way, as well. So, solar power is the way to go.
Right.
Definitely. I think, Joseph, do you have anything to add to this conversation? I'm sorry if we've left you out.
No, what I wanted to say was, it goes right in line with us trying to make Oakland more walkable. So I know that was part of, some of the health initiatives that's going on. So it makes it safer. So we want to start talking about blue zones and, making the town look, more, a lot safer and walkable. I mean, that can be a part of the conversation as well.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's a learning curve, but I want to this one is not that, is not part of that subject, but let's get in front of these things. So,
All right, so if that's the consensus, we'll bring back some stuff for you at the next meeting so that we can move forward with this.
yeah,
I have talked about this publicly and like I said, gotten some feedback and I will talk about it.
I don't think anybody's going to disagree with you.
And on both sides of the road, if you come around the curve, you would see the one on the left side of the road
Right.
before you would see the one on the right. So I don't know.
It might not be a problem where I'm just thinking.
Well, and we can come back and add to if we need to.
I would say don't do any less than the state, standards. And then if you want to do more, it's easy enough. The signs that are out there now can easily be moved back and, something done. And if you need another light down the road, that's always an option.
I don't know for sure. I'm
Yeah.
going to drive it myself and take a look at it now.
But those message boards need to stay out until,
Okay. Just
Complete.
so you know, that's,
I know.
okay.
I don't know if those fall under,
We'll,
you know what I'm trying to say?
we'll take
Leave
care of
them out
that.
there.
We'll take care of that.
Yeah.
But we will get moving on this. I'll go ahead and bring it back on the 23rd so that we can get moving, so we can get these installed and get those message boards off there. And we'll do it as quickly as we can as far as ordering the equipment and getting the contractor on board. So,
Impact fees, that's what I was trying to say. But we didn't know, until that crosswalk went in, we went, whoa, you cannot leave that there without those boards.
Yeah, and it was Orange County's doing and that, so they took the easy route,
Well, that was a road that was coming to us. All
Okay,
right, you have now 8 minutes.
I can talk fast.
No, you can't.
Maybe. Sadler Avenue Park Concept Plan. So just a few things to consider. The property was, to do this was obtained a few years ago to be used as a corridor for water and sewer improvements. And the trail component was an added benefit. And then we tied that into the Longleaf so that it just, you go from the Longleaf Trail right into this. So it worked out timing wise. Construction of the trail component and some landscaping is already budgeted for this year from impact fee reserves. Just another thing to consider, this will soon be the link between the Longleaf neighborhood and Tubb Street. And then in the future, we plan on connectivity between Tubb Street and the Art and Heritage Center. So it's just a piece of that plan. In a couple of years, this could or will become the town's newest park serving the southeastern area. There's enough room, there's enough land, we can do a lot of stuff there, if that's the way you want to go. As the town's population continues to grow, this will add much needed capacity for recreation. So, and of course, all improvements beyond the trail and landscape, which are budgeted for this year, are subject to future budget allocations and citizen input. Because as you'll notice, we do envision, if you will, a small playground up next to a residential property. So it's just something to think about. And there, in this exhibit, there's also parking. I think there was 9 spaces allotted in there. And there's because of the linear the way that that's laid out, we're going to have, or we would like to have some fitness equipment in that park. So it just kind of lends itself to a long linear park for that purpose.
Can you, Parker, orient everybody?
Sure. Happy to.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
It's good right here. It's good right here. So here's the Longleaf connection point. Right now, there's 2 brick columns there. That's all that you see. And then it's a dirt trail headed up towards Tubb Street. So in here, you've already got quite a bit of trees and that. And, when we put the sewer line in, we tried to save what we could. So all we need to do is grade it and pave it. As you get up to this green area, that's where that huge dirt pile is, okay, that was put in to block the commercial area from those residents on Saturday.
Okay, gotcha.
So that, if you haven't looked at it lately, it's an eyesore, I think. It's just bad.
Yeah.
So we're proposing to start landscaping right away with this first phase, if you will. Start landscaping, let it grow in, and maybe 2 years from now, something like that, remove the dirt pile. So when the landscaping's had an opportunity to grow in. And it, we may end up putting fencing or whatever, but there'll be something in there. And then the purple area is where we kind of envision 6 to 8 fitness stations, for people that are walking or bike riding or whatever, that they've got a place to work out. And then of course the yellow is the little playground. It's not big, but it would still be, it would be nice. And then the trail would go up and connect to Tubb Street. And we show here a connection going across Tubb Street. It could go whichever way we decide to go. But
Okay.
But anyway,
Well, it
that's,
sounds better than a big pile of dirt.
yeah.
Not if you're a young boy, they're fun.
Yeah, that's true. I liked them when I was.
A motor, or the motorsports people, they love it.
Yes,
So they live on, or they work. on
That's
it.
their playground.
yeah.
So anyway, that's that. Again, we're bringing this up to generate discussion and that. And, you know, aside from the trail paving and the landscaping, it's all, you know, dependent on future commitments by the commission. And I think that's where we're at. We're just looking for a consensus and, you know, whatever it takes.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I like the idea. You have 18 spaces here. and I like the fitness station.
Yeah, that's
A lot.
perfect.
Well, and, you know, there may be some opportunities for some partnerships on some of this healthy components to this. But I think what we do is we go ahead and get this trail going over the next few months. We can get this moving. And then when come budget time in the fall, we'll talk about whether we want to budget using impact fees for the amenity part of it. And then also looking for opportunities for grants and stuff that we could use to leverage that. So if that's, you know, the consensus, we'll go ahead and move forward with the actual trail construction and come back budget time to talk about phase two, what we want to, you know, what the commission would like to see for phase two.
In that landscaping that you're gonna add, that you're gonna wait for the mature, any trees planned?
Oh, yes, yeah, we're kind of thinking about different types and varieties. I think I've had this conversation before with some of you about spreading it out and not just having live oaks, but having all kinds of stuff, you know, in case there's a blight or something that comes in and hits oak trees, you know, what do you have?
We already have a few trees.
They're natives.
Oh, they will be. They will
Yeah.
be. Most likely the red cedar that we just did out on West Oakland Avenue, that'll be part of it. We'll have some live oaks. We may have some deciduous trees that will lose their leaves in the fall, but they will change colors. I don't know if you noticed, we've got a couple of red maple that are now established pretty well over here that change color and really look good, but in the winter they lose their leaves. So those aren't good for a visual blockade, you know. So,
And there are a few trees already planted as part of the,
Yeah.
as part of the work. So there's already some oaks out there that have been planted.
there's some crepe myrtles and some live oaks.
Yeah.
Mhm. So anyway, we would not remove the dirt until we had a good screen, so.
Hello, fine.
Happy, you good?
Joseph? Good.
You're on mute.
Okay, I told you I could talk.
Right.
So we have consensus.
We will finish 1 minute early.
You might sit down, Mike.
Coming back. So,
Hey,
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
do you have people outside? All right, everybody ready? I'd like to call this meeting for February 9th at 7 o'clock to order. Please stand for the pledge and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chaplain?
Let's pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, we just thank you today for tonight, for being here with us. Thank you for the men and women that are in bloom here and that are here just for our town tonight. Thank you for this council that's here today. And Lord, thank you for the opportunity to be here to retire a beautiful, beautiful dog. And we just ask you, Father, for your protection. We just continue to ask you for your guidance. We continue to ask you for your wisdom. We continue to thank you for the opportunity to serve you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chaplain. Okay, Chief. Oh, wait a minute. One thing to do before. Sorry. Do you want another roll call?
Let's do it for the record.
Yeah.
Commissioner McMullen,
Present.
Commissioner Pollan,
Here.
Commissioner Ramos,
Present.
Vice Mayor Satterfield, Mayor Stark.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, Commissioner McMullen, due to unexpected circumstances, is remote. So have we had any ex parte communication?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Now you're up, chief.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
See, we have another gathering of some of our officers and a few presentations to make. And by the way, speaking for the agency, we really appreciate you allowing us to come up here and present our new officers to you and present our promotions to you and present, things like this. It's important to our agency and our officers, and they appreciate your support as always. I'm probably going to change up the order I was going to do a little bit. We're going to start with, I'd like to present our newly promoted Corporal Kurt Cruz. Detective Cruz started with us 2017. He's got 5 years with the Winter Garden Police Department. He then went into the civilian world for a while. Then we recruited him in 2017, where he started on patrol, where most, all new officers pretty much start. He did very well there. He was a very proactive officer, got a lot of stuff done for us. And when an opening for detective came up, usually it's the more proactive officers we like to put in that position. So starting earlier in January of 2020, Cruz was our new detective, and he has done a fantastic job. He's matured into a good working detective. He clears his caseloads out. He's gotten some good cases done. We recently did one where elderly crime, real estate, was someone posing as real estate agents was bilking a resident in Oakland for thousands of dollars.
Yeah, we heard about that.
Months. Bank subpoenas, following up, found a gang out of St. Pete, liaison with the St. Petersburg Police Department, was actually able to get 4 arrest warrants for all 4 of them.
Wow.
I thought that was an awesome job. And that's just an example of the kind of work he's been doing. Recently, we had a competitive process for corporal. It involved testing and essays and resumes and reviews of, their backgrounds and as well, Detective Cruz was selected for promotion to corporal. So I would like to bring our new corporal up here. Where are you? Yes. One part where a member of his family pins the badge on. That shirt looks kind of tight, so good luck.
Stand back, chief.
Your chance to get back at him.
Congratulations.
Yes.
We'll get a picture before we're,
And then also here.
absolutely.
Okay, now we come to the next part of our presentation, Canine program. We acquired Chase in the later part of 2016, where he started with his handler, Sergeant Tony Vitale. After completing canine training of March of 2017, Chase has been an integral part of the Oakland Police Department. In the past 4 years, Chase has seized various types of narcotics to include cocaine and marijuana, has caught numerous criminals for the Oakland Police Department and for our local agencies around as well. He's been called on by Winter Garden, Ocoee, Windermere, Claremont, Orange County. He's worked everywhere with his dog. And after 4 years of loyal and faithful service, we're going to be retiring Canine Chase to live out the rest of his days with his partner and friend, Sergeant Tony Vitale. me a second. I'm having a hard time with this for some reason. Okay,
Is there a dog bone in there?
this is something we decided to give for Chase, so Chase can hang it on his doghouse wall. Recognition of Police Canine Chase, handled by Sergeant Anthony Vitale. The Oakland Police Department would like to thank you for your many years of faithful and devoted service. Thanks, Chase. Good job, Chase. Now, before you go, one more thing. One more thing before you go. A lot of what I read over here is on this, but basically what we're doing is this is the Oakland Police Chiefs Award that we're going to confer upon Sergeant Anthony Vitale. Starting in 2016, you approached the previous chief of police with the concept of starting our own canine program. You did the research, the legwork, and obtained donations to include not only equipment, but the actual dog we would utilize for the next several years. A lot of stuff I already read on that one. You and Canine Chase made yourselves available for numerous community events throughout the town. Donations continue to pour in during your 40 years of service. As Canine Chase is now retiring and you continue into the next phase of your career, I want to thank you and your distinguished service and outstanding commitment to the town of Oakland and the Oakland Police Department's canine program. Gets to add this to his rack.
And you got a plaque for your doghouse.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It concludes the Oakland Police Department portion of your program. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Well, let's get a picture. Yes, if you can, yeah, right there. And we have our former police chief joined us.
Happy to be here.
He doesn't do much of a fall.
No.
No, here, sit. He's gonna have to listen to you now, man.
Chase, ready? 1, 2, 3. Chase.
Come out, Chase.
There you go. There he goes. There he goes. You got it. Get on with all that. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, and then first roll.
Thanks, Bruce.
Okay. Guys,
Thank you all for allowing this program to begin. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yes, this is something I've experienced 29 years. It took me to become a canine handler. And
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
We're gonna get a picture with all of us real quick.
We gotta get this one.
Yeah, we got one more.
Oh, that's right, West first.
Good job. All right.
Ready? Over here. 1, 2, 3. Try to smile with your eyes.
I can smile when you got all these cops staring at you. Who did it? Who did it?
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
Especially for Mike.
Yes. All right.
Brings back memories, huh?
Memories.
Back in my head.
let me out of your way, stay recording. Get a little scared now.
There's Stacy.
Stacy, can you?
All right, we all in?
And then.
Smile with your eyes, apparently.
bunch of criminals with a mask on. You don't know how we're gonna look.
Chase, over here. Chase, okay, looking. You turned around. Chase, over here. All right.
Very.
Ready? All right, we got him. Right now. Chase, over here. There we go. All right. All right. I think we got
Women do not belong in ties, I'm sorry. They've got to figure out something else for us, because this is just not right. Guys can finish your meeting.
Talking, so when she's done talking, then yeah.
Okay, guys, can you start coming out so they can finish their meeting, please?
Gentlemen, have a good night. Thank y'all. Good seeing you. How you doing today? Good, good.
Thank you so much.
See how it's like.
Good seeing you.
Have a good night. Good seeing you again. I got you.
Congratulations.
Let me get this finger for you. I'll sell your property.
Yeah.
Usually there's a commission of 6.7%. So I charge you a flat fee of 30,000, but give me 10%.
Everything going okay?
100.
I know you're busy.
And they make everything.
If I can ever help in any way, give me a call. John's out on it.
There's so many scams these days.
Tell you, we got hacked in our company. Got hacked by the Russians. Last week. We've been fighting with 3 ideas.
You need some help?
Will be the.
Good luck tonight.
And they took all our files and they held them hostage.
To call you what?
Files.
Really?
They held them hostage and they asked for 3.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
My God.
Good to see you, man.
Did the police?
Oh, we got them down to asking. And we said, no, we're not gonna negotiate with terrorists. I was gonna bring that up in the office here because it
What
happened.
they say now, and then there were 2.
I'm telling you what, that just warms the cockles of your heart.
Well, when they they're not gonna do nothing much.
It really does.
But they even talking to them, negotiating with them.
So wonderful.
Now you're gonna pay.
Hey,
No. They don't it's like
Do you have-
negotiate.
okay, kids, are we ready?
Have a bunch of backups.
Okay.
And they were trying
So
to.
you don't really need to buy it back. I'm sorry.
All right. So we're moving on to public forum.
Yeah, we already started, that's right.
Confused. Okay, that was so great. I'm sorry, I'm just so happy. So public forum, anyone here who wishes to address us about something that is not already on the agenda, whether you are remote or here in the room, please let us know. And keep your comments brief. Nobody? All right, so now we have a consent agenda. Does anyone here at the table have anything that they wish to pull out, have questions about? So on and so forth.
I'll make the motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions, any comments from the public, either remote or in the room? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Public hearing, second public hearing ordinance 2021-03.
Jay or?
Yeah, you want to read the title at least?
Oh, sure. Second public hearing ordinance 2021-03, an ordinance of the town of Oakland, Florida, accepting a dedication of right-of-way, continuing Broad Street to the Lake County boundary, providing for severability, conflict, and an effective date.
Jeff and I are both here, and Jeff's, if you have any questions, we can, either one of us, but Jeff's been pretty involved in this one. And
Good.
they're all ready to pay us as soon as you get this done. That first increment.
There we go.
I have no
Okay,
question.
do we have any questions?
No.
Okay. Do we have any questions or comments from the audience or from those who are remote? Okay, I'll bring it back to the table for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2021-03.
I'll second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any further comments of any kind? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, my goodness, look where we are. We are at town manager report. I know Parker is in the room, which is always a dangerous thing, but that's where we are.
You got anything you want to?
Thank you.
Wow.
Give all 30 minutes, didn't you?
All right, I've got a couple things.
27.
First, House Bill 3101 has been filed for
Saw that.
our wastewater project with the legislature, and the Senate form. It's the LIFR form, and I can't remember what that stands for, but that has also been filed. We don't have a number on that one yet, but we should soon. So that was filed with Senator Bracey's office. And
Geraldine for the House.
Representative Thompson got us the House Bill 3101. So moving forward, James let me know about the Senate this afternoon. So I have coffee with the manager on Thursday morning at 9. Hoping we get a good turnout. We had a really good turnout last month. And I'll talk to him a little bit about some of the things we talked about tonight as far as that crossing. One other thing, I don't know if any of y'all noticed, we did we get that billboard, the electronic billboard 4 times a year.
Oh, with the teachers? Oh, that was
We
awesome.
put an ad up there for thanking the teachers and everything they've gone through this year.
Nice.
So it was well received with the school.
I think that was a great idea.
Mhm.
And then the last thing I have, it might take a little discussion. I wanted to bring up Celebration Among the Oaks. Normally, we would be looking to have an event the week before Easter, which would, I think, be March 27th would be that Saturday. I'm not recommending that we do a big event, but we, among staff, and we talked with the Easter Bunny a little bit about still having a small, kind of like we did with the drive-through with Santa Claus. This would be out in front of the Arts and Heritage Center and pictures with the Easter Bunny, maybe 2 or 3 hour block. We can petition the county to detour the trail for a couple hours and be able to do pictures with the Easter Bunny. So I wanted to get a consensus from the commission on that. We've just been talking about it the last couple of days, so it's just an idea. Because like I said, I don't recommend doing a big event, like we have done in the past with the Celebration Among the Oaks and the Easter egg hunt and all that. I don't think we're quite there yet with the COVID and the pandemic. But I think keeping things, keeping a little bit of a spotlight and then being able to highlight the Arts and Heritage Center was an idea that was brought to my attention. So I'm bringing it to the commission for discussion and direction.
I think that's a great idea. Will it be open? Will you be inside or just on the porch?
I'm thinking, and we haven't talked other than kind of remotely about it, is put the buggy inside for a couple of reasons. A, you can regulate a certain number of people in. It will accent the center itself also. And personally, it'll be a whole lot cooler in there for that bunny.
For the bunny?
For the bunny, so, because he gets hot. that guy. But the idea was, when we started talking about it, was, it is wrong to have a big event. We all understand that, but I watched myself go through the whole Santa thing with all these schools and the way that, they put, Santa was in a room and a certain amount of kids came out, and it worked for almost 20 schools in the area, and parents were in for it, and they wanted their kids to come get it. And it's the same thing that I thought that if we do something for Easter for these kids, and, people were thinking, gosh, Oakland, look, they're doing something for them. So it may not be as big as what we've always done with, the big celebration, but at least it's something for these kids.
I'm okay with it.
By detouring the trail, we can spread people out, queue people up, be able to use all that space. So, I think it's a reasonable direction to go.
And the minimal cost, because we're not having all the other stuff, we're just a photographer, I guess. Is that maybe what you're thinking? Have him come? So,
I think that's-
This consensus is good for you?
Pardon me?
Oh, do we have anybody in the audience who would like to speak? I'm sorry. You'd think I'd be used to this by now.
It's hard.
Oh, that one.
Are you raising your hand or you're just saying it's a good idea?
It's a good idea.
Thank you. Joseph, you got anything?
Oh, no, that's a great idea.
You okay there, Joseph?
I'm fine. It's a great idea. We good.
Okay, thank you, Joseph.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
All right, so we'll move forward with that and do the pre-planning and everything that goes along with that. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Okay. I do want to recognize that Shane, who is the chair of the P and Z, is here. And do you have anything you wish to say or report or? Well, we're appreciating that you're here.
Thank you.
We appreciate Val's here too. So.
We appreciate you guys.
It was nice. There was some happy stuff tonight. So if we don't have anything else, Sal?
Yeah.
No, that's good. I was just wanted to bring something up that maybe not the time to do it here, but I know that there's a city in Miami that got hacked and they stole the information from the governments. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Not necessarily that one, but I am aware that it has happened to other government.
I know how we are, protecting ourselves here if we have mirror images or, hard drives that we're saving, backups, cloud. They went after them over $200,000 and they paid it. So
Yeah.
happening to a lot of cities more and more often these last few weeks, months. It happened to our company. And I just wanted to make sure that our town is ready for it, or if our IT has to have a meeting with whatever information you guys can gather to, if it happens, we don't want to end up having to, and it happened already. So within 3 days, they wrote paid over $200,000.
Was that one of those things where they're like, if you don't pay us the money, we're going to, destroy all your information?
Yeah.
They just hold the information ransom.
Yeah,
It's ransomware, and they'll go in and they lock up all your files and encrypt them, and then you can't get to anything until they unencrypt them. I won't say anything's foolproof. It is something that we've talked about as staff, and Jonathan has been working on. He does a lot of training with us that we've been doing recently. He actually sends out emails, phishing emails, and testing staff.
Yep.
So that you'll pay attention to what's going on and report them. So we've got a way through Microsoft that we can take those emails and report them. Because that's one of the big ways that they get in. We've got backups on everything that we're doing. We've got some cloud backups. We do a lot of the stuff that we're doing through Microsoft and through the cloud, and all of that's, got some redundancy to it. I won't say that we're where we need to be completely, but we do have firewalls and we do have a lot of the things in place to try to prevent that.
Well, I would ask for our IT, our town IT, to investigate further with the other cities on what they failed on, so we can be prepared for it ourselves. That, ends up being a big chunk of tax money.
Yep.
That ends up in the wrong hands.
My work email, I just noticed today, if I get an email from outside the company, it won't let me push on, other things in the email unless I push on something else I recognize the user.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those yesterday from I think it's from the town that says, we don't recognize this email. Is it safe? But yeah, nothing is foolproof and we can learn from anyone.
Anything that comes in with attachments all gets scanned prior to you being able to open it. So we do have some things in place, but we'll talk with Jonathan and.
It's happening so much
Yes.
out the gate this year, 2021. I mean, I've already handful of companies that we know already got hit locally. So they're targeting Florida companies and government. I just want our team to be aware and to, more the better.
I appreciate that.
Backup.
It's definitely something that's been on my mind.
That's it. Great.
Just pour it to preserve this Saturday, 5:30 to 8:30.
Are you sold out?
Yep.
Yes.
Be good.
Is that it?
Yep.
Joseph?
Just remind everyone, I know we started, the emails as it relates to Tri-County League. The next meeting is next Thursday. And we're going to, be doing a big push to get us all involved as much as possible as it relates to advocacy on the state, through the county, local level, and of course through FLC, in which, Tony is the president and Scott Dudley is one of the main staff who's pushing that. And just be prepared for the legislative session from what was being stated. And I know James and I saw, I know Steve is on top of those legislative, alerts and things of that nature. But, we need all hands on deck now even more because, with the budget crunch and just with all the things that's going on, politically, there's a lot that's being pushed or proposed to be pushed down to the local communities. And so, it's going to be a big push from the state legislature, from the state Florida League of Cities, along with our area, to get us more and more involved with advocacy. I know we can't go up there, but emails and phone calls, texts, we're trying to get everyone involved with this process. So,
well, and go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure that I know we got a lot coming our way, but just be on the lookout for those emails and those texts. And on the Tri-County League level, the Institute of Government at UCF, they're going to lead the effort for us. We just locked that down today at the board meeting, and so we're going to make it easier for us to collaborate and interact with our legislators based on a database and communication that's going to be led by the Institute of Government or UCF.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say that, at the state level, there's, so much focus on coronavirus that we really, are lucky we have people out there keeping an eye out for us because things could get pushed through that nobody even sees.
Exactly, yeah. And I know the lobbyists with the Florida League of Cities, they are super, super busy. And so on the local level, you know, whenever we could get one of them to come and speak to us, I think we're earmarking March or I think March or April. We're trying to get someone to come and, you know, talk to us about advocacy,
Right.
and then April, you know, after the session, to give us a update on what has happened to again to keep us going. And this advocacy thing really, it's not just this 1 year. You know, we're setting the template for this to be something ongoing, but it's going to make it easier for us to keep those fluid conversations with our legislators. You know, and we know we got this about 50 new legislators around the state, and so that's another reason they're pushing us to really collaborate with these new guys, so to make sure they understand, you know, home rule and do what we can. So that was the biggest thing I wanted to share with us.
Awesome.
I'm good. I'm going to work with y'all tomorrow on the, what you want the bunny to do, and we'll nail that down. So otherwise, I'm good.
Great. We had, you know, has it been two soft openings now of the Heritage Center? And they've gone real well. We've had people come through that were donors and things like that to, you know, let them, you know, preview. And I can tell you, you know, I took Dave Stanford through and he couldn't have been more grateful about that window. You just have no idea all that hard work. You know, just the look on his face made it worth it to me. And that's gonna, you know, stay there for a long time. So it's been great. And that's all I have.
You're up, Pat.
Well, if all hearts and minds are satisfied, let's adjourn. It is now 7:40 p.m. Or that's it.
I know, can you believe it?
Okay, 7:40 p.m. Y'all be safe.
Good night, everybody.
Started at 6:30 though, so that's
Yes.
part of it.
True. Good night. Y'all be safe.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
So